12 months, there has been some disappointments in places, but we are into the game. That's the important thing here. An opportunity for everybody to start rolling. Trick on the first map was an absolute beast. Second map, a lot flatter, as was the rest of the team. So hoping that a fresh slate here will be enough for NIP to at the very least be more competitive on this third map.
Fiku, good kill. Needed to find that. Could have been awkward. But look at this in towards A main. Regali's dropped the bomb in the open. He's got a teammate nearby. Nex is not that far off either. He's coming from the mid flank. Especially with that kill. This round has just crumbled. Hampus might have got in behind somehow, but I don't think it's going to matter. Look at how OG just swarming around the bomb. This is so difficult now.
Oh, nice find from Fasher as well on the backside. So I think that will spell defeat here in the pistol. Brolan trying his best, does manage to find one there, but it's cost him a lot of HP, and the dualies catch him reloading. Easy enough for OG. Another great kickoff for them. Actually, something that's been really good across the course of the series is their pistols. So I'm certainly feeling for NIP in that sense that an awful lot of the time here, Alan, they've been starting on the back foot. They've been starting in a weaker position. And that really is difficult, you know, to work from behind all series long. It can be a very, very big challenge.
Just the full eco. Just the full eco. I'll tell you who'll be enjoying this game, and that'll be everybody else in this lower bracket seeing NIP in a lot of trouble. That'll make their lives a lot easier if OG do the hard work for them.
Yeah, and it definitely just wasn't expected as well, I think. So it will be a pleasant surprise for a lot of people involved, apart from maybe your NIPs.
Well, I can imagine for a lot of onlookers, when you just look at the bracket, NIP are probably pretty heavy favourites in the eyes of a lot of the less regular viewers, maybe, or the ones less totally in the know. If you just watch the bigger tournaments, you see NIP play, you saw them do well at Blast Groups. Granted, you know, maybe Cologne wasn't perfect, but, you know, maybe with the exception of Apex after a major semi-final, you're looking at this and saying, NIP should clean up a lot of these teams in this qualifier, and they almost lost to 1 win. They did lose to 9. And now an OG team that's definitely had flaws, as we've seen in other games. This is scary.
It really is problematic. It really is problematic. I think, as we talked about a little bit in the beginning, it can be difficult here because you're making this sort of weird transition to online after obviously focusing most of your time offline. Not entirely sure logistically how it looks, right? Are these teams sort of boot camping for this sort of thing at the moment, or are they just playing from home? We never truly know, but it's still not the same. Especially if they are playing from home, which I feel like is probably the likely case for teams like this. You know, they'll want some time at home in between big events for sure.
Yeah, it's true. Probably worth saying though for both the teams at the moment, they're not making it to the latter stages of a lot of events, so it's only had the opportunity to fly back earlier and get a little bit more rest time. I don't think they enter a lot of the smaller stuff as well, these teams, so I wouldn't have thought you know, burnout is the biggest concern, at least compared to some others. What have we got here then? First gun round, mid default from NIP, and I say it every time I watch NIP on this map. I know Config can be so good at playing mid. We saw it on Astralis times last year and a little bit earlier, maybe on Complexity as well. He is so good at working the mid position. Could be a force.
We'll see whether he lives up to that hype, I suppose. Regali will be out towards mid from the OG side of things, and he catches off Hampus. Trying to make a cheeky move. The first pickup goes the way of OG, once again looking to get themselves off to a stellar start here on a third map in a row, it would be, if they're able to do it again. slow swing up into a round like this. 35 seconds, NIP, trying to make a move in. Down goes Regali through the smoke. That's not ideal. And I think the weapon scoop, the weapon drops, etc. may well have been heard. Config was very ready for Nexa to be around there. 4-on-3 ensuing. Make it a 3-on-3 now, though. It's not bad. Trick. Gets a flash round. It's ineffective, unfortunately. The nade might finish off the player behind the pillar. It doesn't. Head Trick very lucky to be alive on 3 HP there, and they will indeed, because of that kill not coming in, have to call this one off.
Good round. Good space. Good trades onto B particularly. You can see on the mini map all those players that just died within a 2-meter radius of the cubby on the right hand side. Very nice. And OG, they did keep the anti-eco in the second round very clean, so no fear for them in terms of getting a buyout. We roll on. And into round number 4 here. It's going to be the call from NIP. It's going to be a fast A round. Look at this. Smoke's raining over. Only Keto's on this side of the map. He's on the boost position. Tends to be a one-and-done spot, but 2 fast kills. Traded in the end, but Keto has already done so much work. That molly is catastrophic in terms of preventing NIP from getting out. That's a disaster. They've sunk all their nades into that.
Yeah, really not a good look. Oh, it's tough.
Such a shame we weren't on board
tough
for Keto, because that looked nasty. That looked absolutely nasty.
Our guy from on high. It can be a difficult one to peek into. I think I saw a video yesterday about how there's like an advantage for the player that's on high, and just the way that like the door works and everything, plus also height advantage. Really weird area to deal with.
Only risk here is getting timing because they are going fully silent. Nexa behind them. Here's one player down. Fiku traded. Exactly that happens. Perfect timing for NIP. And now 2-on-2. Established after plant. Given a window back into this round, and that flash was perfect.
1v1. Brolan just playing it safe. Hidden away. Unsure of where to look. Regali, meanwhile, doesn't have a lot of time. There is a kit on his belt. There is a smoke on his belt as well. Maybe he goes in with somewhat of an injured defuse. That's maybe what Brolan was hoping for, but he strikes very early, does Brolan. Still all the same. There's hardly any time here for Regali. Brolan finds the kill for good measure. And NIP recover back after a terrible, terrible start into that round.
Yeah, pretty well recovered. Pretty well recovered. I mean, that timing was divine. I'm not even sure I blame OG that much. Maybe there was a little bit of a gap. Maybe communication was a little bit off, but it was just perfect for NIP. The timing to come out of dark and get in behind Nexa. They did play it really well from that situation onwards. Just maybe a little bit of luck went their way. And suddenly it's them in economic control, and the only thing NIP really need is just to have a clean round because they have no cash in reserve.
Hampers to open up that B-bomb site and, yeah, completely open it up with just one frag. Ridiculousness. Easy comings here. Hampus just cleaning up house on the eco. All right, dude. That was a very quick flurry of frags that he's managed to pick off. Keto is miles away, so the opportunity at finding an ace here has indeed dwindled.
Oh, Hampus. Come on, come on. Keep going. Come on. Ah. I feel like I'm being denied. Oh, well. Pretty good for Nip. They did keep plenty of players alive, and then some. And given how OG got pretty badly reset, their money isn't perfect. Probably won't be an AWP unless Nex is really feeding a glass, and I don't blame him for not. Let's see how OG chooses setup, because especially in the modern day of Ancient with these mid spawns, it's a little bit trickier for the CT side.
It's very true. It's very true. The shift to more of a puggy map, right? A lot of early fights get taken on this map now, and a lot of early nades get expended as all the flashes towards mid there. I think Fasher was trying to be cheeky and get a smoke down that he could see above. However, no opportunity presenting itself. Just tit for tat at the moment, but I mean, look at where the utility is at. NIP having one smoke left.
Yeah.
Bunch of Molotovs, but only a one smoke.
You see on the mini-map, there's a smoke down on B, and I do kind of question what was the goal? Was the plan always to pull a bit of utility before ending here? Because it's not really worked. Fico still has a smoke, as does Nexa. We stuck behind smokes a long time here, I think. And are OG going to make an information play? There's no reason to go for this. There's no information across the map that this place could be open, but it's working. That was pretty surprising to me that it went that well, but they'll take it.
Nice pick up from Hampus. Oh, and a second as well. All right, we might be back on here. Nexa, meanwhile, at slant has such a good angle to deal with Hampus. However, is that where that last smoke is going? It is indeed. Hampus goes a little early. Love to see it. Will get traded out, though. Will get... Oh, he needed to survive, man. So not quite going to be enough. There will be a bomb plant in from Brawler. No, there won't. Fasher through the smoke takes him. A lovely response from OG. Well held and well played, considering the madness in the middle that Hampus was able to lay down.
They got away with that a little bit, OG, with the push down B ramp. That was a bit scary. To explain what I meant, it's more like there's no impetus. It's not like they've lost mid control. It's not like A's being pressured. They just felt a little bit insecure with not having enough information. That's why they go for the play. And to walk into that many terrorist players and lose nobody is quite astonishing. So they got away with that one. Here comes a fast B explosive play. Flashes raining over. Roland in early. And Nexa, you're not aware a player was all the way out to pillar. Thankfully, Regali's here for the trade. And with all these nades now blocking the entranceway, I think NIP have to pull the ripcord and look elsewhere.
It is the classic response as well, right? Going for that B burst. OG were very, very ready. Keto, meanwhile, speaking of ready, he can't pull off the shots, but he sees them. And now they become contained. Now they become trapped in cave. There's only one way out, and it's towards the front, but they might not be fast enough for it. Keto on the flank, picks up the double. Finds the advantage here for OG as they take the lead on Ancient.
Good hold. Clean hold. Playing well together. Crossfires were nice. And, I think OG had 3B there, so NIP unfortunately didn't win out in the macro game, didn't make the right guess. That wouldn't have helped in their accord. No real money in the bank, so the pistol was out, no real armor. One smoke on Hampus, we'll see if can get anything done. Where's he lining that up for? CT maybe? Just explode out? See what you can do, Keto.
Going to spot the edge of a couple of players. Doing well here. Fasher's in for some support. Should be all good by all accounts. Hampus remaining. He's been spotted out pretty easily. Finished off by the big man Keto for his 4K. So nothing too untoward in the end. It all makes sense. They will find yet another clean round out.
Looking good. Looking good. Was a very lesser investment, so could have that asterisk. But nonetheless, OG stabilizing a tad. See what NIP have for us. They keep doing these mid defaults. I'd love to expend nades early. They're using a lot of smokes to try and contest mid. And this round, they do change the game. Much less, just a window smoke. You see this deep CT smoke is a little bit on the bricks as Regali might get caught out. He's in the open. If he can slip into Donuts a lot stronger. Jumping up, almost caught. Trade is good and Hampers is going to accelerate. Sprinting to try and get into Temple. Keto's on the line. But can't get the frag. That's a good one from Fasher as endless trades come out. Look at the minimap. Hampers has B. The bomb is all the way outside of mid. He's a madman. Look at this. That is wild.
He is known for being a madman.
That is crazy.
Yep. Living up to the namesake, living up to the reputation.
I can't
Battled
believe
him back
that.
into the round, hasn't it?
I can't believe that.
I can. He's definitely the guy.
That's outrageous.
He's definitely that guy.
I'd be upset if I was OG right now.
Little bit unbelievable, isn't it? But we'll see. Crazy stuff. And they capitalize on the madness. I think it's really thrown OG for a loop, it feels like. Bomb goes down. Nex is close to the action here. What can he get done? He's creeping around. The AK too much for him to deal with. And it will indeed be just down to Fiku. Probably a save angle. There's no real way of him getting back in. They do have enough to buy in the next round, but he just has to take it here at the end of the day.
Well, that was a hectic round and then some. Credit to Hampus. That was a lot going on there from NIP. Spread out, but I did enjoy how they were playing off each other. Very reactive, very decisive. Made it tricky for OG. Made the right adjustments. And OG just about getting out of buy here. Maybe Nex could do with a drop. Not going to be. He's on the FAMAS. Is this game... this already feels like the least streaky half I've seen in this match. First back in a 4-1.
Yeah, definitely. There's way more competition. Even though we had a super close first map, it was, yeah, two really long and fairly dominant halves from both of them, wasn't it? So, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense for sure.
Is Kia just going to swing? Nexa has a flashbang. Which could be lofted over. Keto goes. The flash is actually behind these players. Too far advanced. And I think, honestly, they're lucky to get the trade off the spam. And now it's Fasher that's stuck in a rock and a hard place. Might get one, but surely he's not getting out of here. Surely not. How does Fasher stay alive? That is mightily impressive.
Big frags as well. Big moment for the rounds. Rez and Headtrick, two of the lower fragging members at the moment for NIP, are left in the impossible situation. They're waiting to group up on top of each other. Headtrick just pushing it, and wow, okay. Okay! Knows his angles, hits his shots, and brings them back within inches of picking up the impossible round. Would be a hell of a thing again. What are these mid-round moments from NIP? Not quite as wacky as the last one, but definitely as impressive. Fasher, a questionable push through the smoke, a desperate move that Headtrick shuts down easily. Regali to save, and NIP to steal yet another seemingly unwinnable round.
Yeah, OG are not going to feel good about that one. They had everything they could ever have asked for. Man advantage, bit of information. And Headtrick just annihilates them. What a shame for OG. His consistency is evading both teams at the moment. Where did that come, though, from Headtrick? He's had a pretty lackluster map thus far, but that round was quite the opposite. Feels like we are in for a bit of a nip and tuck map. Is exactly what we wanted. And look at that. Hampus comfortably leading the way. On his team. Keto and Regalia nearby.
Great to see. Great to see that there is a lot of variation in the capable fraggers. Config, though, is one we usually expect to see towards the top end, and he's really struggling here. Maybe this is a round where he can build some confidence against mostly pistols. The AWP's still in the mixer. And the AWP looking to be effective. There it is to take out Rez. They now know where it is. And unfortunately, yeah, most of the pressure's coming in towards B, so I don't think the AWP's going to see the light of day past that one kill. Probably just save once again. Should be the lead for NIP.
Ooh. Okay, Fiku. We take those. And now just get out of dodge, save these AKs. Got to play the long game. Even better. Next round, of course, will be a buy again for OG. This one was more of an eco. We're getting a lot of damage in. I mean, NIP doesn't really have the cash to sustain these losses. That's really nice from OG on these exits. As NIP take the slimmest of leads.
It is indeed a slim one, right? There is little in terms of the reliability. It's, as you say, the first time in this series that we have seen back and forth. Not necessarily questionable moments, but competition is the word that I like to use. This one should be very competitive. Both teams on fully fledged buys. In with the A-rush, though.
What?
Oh, my God! Those first two are so fast! He picks up a third as well. What a hold. What a round, and what a game Keto is having. NIP have pulled themselves back from moments like this already in this game, so they are certainly capable, but a hell of an ask once again to win another unwinnable round.
No way, Brolan. And if you're OG, you just can't drop the ball on this one. You literally have everything in your favor. Good kills. But credit where credit's due. Keto, that second kill, I'm not really sure he was aiming for that. Or at least he was mid-transition or something. That looked vicious. One bullet straight to the head. Whew. Surprised NIP needed a timeout. That was savage. Is Config here missport? Or is... Oh no, they are buying into it. Okay. This is right on the edge, this buy. Not sure they have the nades to really fight for mid early. We'll at least give them the way Config is posturing at the moment. Looks like more of an A play. Sorry, a B play. Tell you what, I'd actually really like to see an AK on Hampus, to be honest. He's been the best player for them so far.
Yeah, it would be nice. Would be nice. It never really works out that way, does it, Alan? Everyone always kind of says, oh, yeah, let's buy what you can.
It's gone well, though.
Certainly
Config just ran up and I think it was Regali insta-killed. Simple CS. Just contact B. And somehow, despite the buy, despite the lesser investment, that's the cleanest round NLP's had for a long time.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the case. They will manage to pick up a nice round. Pick up a nice round indeed. Finding themselves the lead once again. So, not super comfortable, but it does feel like NIP are starting to edge ahead as the more controlling team in this first half, which is always good from your T side, right? And of course, as you can kind of see, as is becoming painfully noticeable, OG's money is getting worse and worse as things go on.
Pause in. Hopefully nothing too extreme. Doesn't feel like attack pause at the moment. We're not here too long. Very little to separate these teams. To trundle our way to the end of this first half. Tell you what, there's been surprisingly few kind of clutch situations. There's been a lot of kind of bulldozing of sites or flat out holds. You always see a lot of afterplants on Ancient, but it hasn't really happened.
Yeah. No, that is very true. That's very true indeed. So we'll see. We've got a little tech pause here. Hopefully, as per usual, not going to be a long one.
Yeah, hearing is not too bad. So let's just do a quick update, I guess, on the other game, which would have been the Bet Boom Victory Zigzag game, which was a pretty clean 2-0. First map was overtime, but second map 16-2. So they are done and dusted. And we're still going. We're nowhere near done.
Well, it seems to be the Alan Hender curse of this tournament, that we get some relatively long games. Definitely, again, as you said, one of your longest games that you've ever done type thing yesterday. So I don't think we're going to be on that level.
For a best of 3, yeah. The Challenger League EU final would have been, I don't remember, I think it was the last season. That went all 4 maps. It was 7 hours.
Yeah, damn.
That was savage.
That's the job, though, Chief. That's the job. Yeah, no, it certainly happens. And you get to have fun, watch the good Counter-Strike. Hopefully it was good Counter-Strike on the Challenger League one for you. But I'm sure it was yesterday as well.
Yesterday was
Either way, we're
carnage.
back into things.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Those games can be nice sometimes, I suppose. Just
it was entertaining.
Madness.
There's no doubt about that. Regali. Up close and personal. Gets the smoke off. Clearly, given the minimap, NIP want to collapse pretty soon, but this smoke is so annoying. There's also a molly in front of it. Config gets 1, but I think with this now cave control established, it might be too much to ask. Config's just going to sit in the smoke, actually, but his teammates are falling thick and fast. It's way too much to deal with, and yeah, kind of trickling in the end, aren't they? One by one, piecemeal.
Problematic NIP, again, proving to be mortal. No team really able to get above a string of 3 so far, I don't think. So the back and forth nature does indeed continue on here.
When you look at the stat lines for OG, you almost question how this game isn't more dominant. With Keto's 15-4, 14-8 on Europa, Fash is hardly having a game off. It's almost surprising they're not further ahead. It must mean when they're winning rounds is dominant, and when they're not, they're saving.
Yeah, I think that has been even a lot more saving than you would generally expect from the map of Ancient, you know? So yeah, it's quite surprising. Moving forwards into the final round of the first half. Looking keep this competition coming, of course, into the second, but there does have to be someone who gains a lead at the tail end of the first. Who is it going to be is the big question, of course. Keto with an aggressive push just is not missing. Fasher went aggressive out middle, and he found his kill, so a 5 versus 3 immediately for OG.
Just hasn't been Config's map. And I said before that he can be a huge weapon terms of cracking open mid. And I think NIP have had mid. A lot of times they've wanted it, but in terms of generating entries, generating space, making gaps for his team to capitalize upon, hasn't materialized here for Config. Throwing that early kill from Keto in the A main, the A tunnels. And this round is already looking close to insurmountable. I'm not sure OG needs to make this information play down B. But if they pull off this kill onto Qualifier, there's not going to be a whole lot left. And I think I called it. That was too much. They had a huge amount of advantage. And now they're scrambling at a deficit on their behalf.
Very problematic indeed. Brolan will manage to find yet another that might just hammer it home. Man, there's been so many cheeky rounds won out by NIP that at the start of them, going into the mid-round, you really would not think they'd be able to get it, but they have recovered back some 4v2s multiple times. That's a 5v3 right there that's just gone their way. Absolutely incredible stuff, but it still results in an 8-7 half, just edging in their favor. The closest map that we've had so far in this series. Is it set to continue into half two? Hello and welcome back to the third and final half of this here series. As the pistol looking to get kicked off. NIP ended with slim advantage, very slim indeed, but well, slim might just be the difference maker. It's been an incredibly close back and forth affair between these two teams so far.
Couple standout performers. Keto's been brilliant. Regali's had a great series. Roland gets the smoke off just in time, or maybe not. Keto in front of it, sprinting on the flashes. Glocks finding skulls. And now OG, bomb getting planted, map control established. Unless Hampus can pull off something unbelievable, it should be a done deal.
Once again, man, OG looking so damn good in their pistol rounds. That trend has not gone away. Next up, looking to lead the charge into the push to absolutely hammer this one home. The remaining two players are just nowhere near the action, really. Looking to, you know, find some kills on the extremities, but there's, yeah, not an awful lot presenting itself so far. There you go, they'll find a few kills. Head trick will eventually go down, but some money being made on the pistols at the very least, particularly for Config. It's also good to see him finding some kills after a struggle in the first half.
He could buy an A1. I think he probably will. Let's have a look. Saves the armor, of course. But certainly, yeah, you're right. Guess you're going to drop a farm. That's okay. OG, they're so good at those explosive pistols, aren't they? Where they just ramp up the pace, get in the face. And even though we're saying, you know, I think it's pretty fair to say that NIP have the more complete players on their team, it doesn't mean they have the more mechanically skilled players. I don't think anybody's doubting that on OG. And they hit hard. Holy cow.
See what the force looks like from NIP then. Few Deagles in play. Keto got to be a bit careful here. He's just out in the open, really unafraid to take that fight. Maybe it makes sense with 17 kills already to his name, but yeah, definitely don't want to be the first player to fall in an important moment, an important round like this. All the same, nothing much coming off so far in the early portion.
Slow stuff. Ramp just blocked by a smoke from NIP, and they are leaning 3B. What else have we got? Another smoke on Hampus. Brolan has a smoke, but it'll be a bit hard to get it off. I think he's going to use it early to get into this bait setup. There are some nades raining over, but another smoke for Ramp. Are OG going to go through? This is going to be ever so risky. Hampus up close on the Deagle. You see Headtrick was playing anti-flash there for a second, and here we go. Flash is over. Fiku through first. Brolan comes out of dark. Get himself another. The flanks are also getting engaged. That's Config. And Red's coming off kind of the sidewalk position, and that hold was absolutely perfect. Exactly as planned for NIP.
Yeah, immaculate. So well done. So well played. They will be incredibly satisfied with that. Ah, man, OG, that's twice now. That's twice they can't convert the pistols. Really will be kicking themselves in a big, big way that it's fallen off in such a fashion. But still, I think they'll be comfortable moving forwards with rounds they do have if they can just make sure that they get in as soon as the rifles crop back up. That's always the big thing here. Tiny bit of damage done either way to kick the round off, but once again, no early frags going the way of either side. Spoke too soon. Basher finds Troll and getting aggressive. Mac 10. Awkward on the trades of the body in the way as well. Config good for one, left on low HP. Leaves a player on low HP, though, so it's a weird little tit-for-tat back and forth here.
Going to move himself on to B. Hampers is a little bit exposed for the moment. He's actually going to poke and prod. If he gets called out, this could get really scary. Thinks better of it. I guess he knows the head trick is his mid, so no fears from that side. This round goes right down. Keto is a beast. Head trick gone. Map bisected, and look all that's done to the rotations. Config on low HP is the only player on B. Hampers is pulled off. How on earth does Config hold this?
Well, if he doesn't get checked, that's how he holds it. Oh, and Fasher will check him. So, not going to happen. Rez on the other side of the map will probably just save what he has. And OG are now immediately back on the board. We seemingly are in for our back and forth, tit for tat style of play. The old vacillating rounds. The force by wars, they're commonly called. Seem like that will be the case here. Rez's M4 could play a big part in said wars.
He's to hold on to that. Nobody very close by, but you know, as force buys go, they don't get a lot cleaner than that. What a shot from Keto. Straight up mid into the red room. Took Hedrick out before he could even have much of an opportunity. And that round is a catastrophe. Catastrophe for NIP is now them that has massive economic woes. And whoever emerges victorious from this force by slugfest is going to be in a great position to win this series. And as a reminder to everybody, this is lower bracket. Lower bracket, loser goes home. And given they're in the lower bracket, there's only one slot for all of these teams in the lower to play for in Sydney. That in itself is scary, but to be this close to elimination this early on for both of these teams, it's a frightening prospect.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Keto with a ridiculous shot through the smoke there to kick this round off. OG at the moment, the ones driving this game. Where they take it, though, is, of course, the bigger question. Keto is pushed out middle. This could be a really big position.
Big gap. Big gap now. Well, Rez might have the best gun, but doesn't have the best foresight. Too many positions to cover. A main, donut, CT, temple, all of them were exposed. And NIP set to get nothing out of this force by OG will reign victorious in this economic brawl. And the buy in the following for NIP will be pretty much anything they can save through. What a map from Keto. He has just gone absolutely nuclear.
Yeah, it's mad. It is mad. We talked about this guy, right? So consistent is usually what he's all about. And then every now and then, yeah, he may well have a takeover game, and it seems like he's woken up at the perfect moment, right when they need him, you know? They're on the brink of elimination, really close game. You need a guy like Keto to just have a takeover moment, and that certainly looks to be what the case is here. So very much looking forward to what OG have got in store for the next few rounds. This follow-up probably does go their way quite easily, quite boringly. There's no money for NIP.
Onwards and upwards. Mid-take nades for our OG. Keto explodes out. NIP don't really have the utility or the weaponry to try and offer up an initial defense, and Keto here is going to start taking a lot of space. Red room molly. Force back any players in there. Flashbang is through. Keto starts to clear. Will he meet across the board Brolan? Yes, he does. That's a good kill. Can they find anything more?
$1 million question. Regali, slow but sure, is pushing his way on towards this B site. There is slim defense. You've got Head Trick on the scout. A low HP Brolan, but they are slowly moving more players over here, right? They've got a read on this. The fact that Hampus, with nothing but a USP, but he's still pushed through A main, confirming the fact that there's nobody around. The smokes will now begin to rain over. Quick boost being held for Fiku to find 1 and 2. Fantastic stuff from Fiku. Boost on the other side also being watched for. I think Hedrick made a pretty obvious jump as well. So they've weathered this round. Should easily pick it up. In fact, they will pick it up. There's no contest at all. Oh, Hampus a bit off with the USB. Caught a bit sleeping, I think. Either way, Rez has got himself an AK into the next.
Come in handy. I mean, the loss bonus isn't great. Probably no AWP for Hedrick. Most certainly. I don't think Brolan's going to be dropping that sack in armor. There's OG. Making a very compelling run at this now. Looking real good. To get their teeth into this T side. Not quite all the bells and whistles for NIP in the nades department. Might struggle a little bit to block off mid at the start about all the Molotovs. See how they handle this. It's going to be a smoke from Hampus, followed up by Molly. Kita's actually going to play in it, and he eats that nade, and then some. Wow. A lot of damage onto him already.
Yeah, pretty good start for NIP. Definitely what they needed to kick off a super important round. The battle back has begun. It's a nice look. It's a very nice look indeed. Where do they go from here, though? And obviously, it's unconfirmed damage as well, so it doesn't really change the way that you play. You're still looking for frags, and sometimes, in doing so, you can give your life away. So it's actually OG to find the opening frag.
What's the move, Nip? You're going to make an information play? At the moment, it seems to be giving A and loading up B with numbers. Now that information play is coming down B ramp. And A is ever so exposed. Config is clearing mid as well. They'll have the information very soon that mid and B are not terribly contested. Now they know it, but is it too late? Smoke for Donut in. Players swinging wide. She needs something onto CT to cut off this sight line, and surely a bomb plant is going to be in the works. Keto's up close, and how does is Next not aware that Keto's not on the line? That looks a bit bizarre. After plant is in. Retake required.
So, NIP not in a bad position here to get it done. Brolin going to find the first entry on the retake as well. Be convincing then. Oh, they're aware of some type of flank. Just Fiku. He's smoked off. Like, there's no chance here that he can stop this from happening. And then he gives it his best go, but they keep him at bay safely. They will take the round. So here we go. We're still not looking at a victor, not looking at a team. Growing the gap. Close is on, and NIP only one behind now.
OG is going to be hurting not winning that round. They looked in a great position. They had a pretty big macro advantage as they got out onto A. It was even numbers. They had the bomb down. They had temple control. Couldn't muster a solid defense in the end. So those retaking CTs came in. Back on the defaults. A lot of B pressure being applied. And look how many nades are out for OG already. Mid take and the B fake means they're expelling a lot of utility. Trade is good though onto config. So at least mid is heavily into OG's favor now.
4-on-3. And OG, yeah, with the mid control actually opting to take it towards B here with that control that they have. NIP looking for ways to get back into the round. Certainly can be tough at the moment. It is a little buddy system out towards mid and gain some control, gain some information, importantly, I think is the thing.
Yes, indeed. Fiku does lose the duel. I guess he can call to his teammates that maybe B is a bit less defensive. His timing, though, almost perfect for Brolan. But not to be. No frags. Head trick is very quickly on the flank, though. Maybe they don't expect a second, especially if Hampus can just show a little bit of presence. This player in front of him is ever so low. Bomb now getting planted. This head trick further and further and further. Pulls the trigger immediately. Instantly traded by Fasher. And now it's on Hampus. Nexa not aware he's exposed. And Hampus gets it done. Experienced leader comes through. And NIP refuse to die here on Ancients.
We're going to keep on going. This one may well have another overtime written all over it, Alan. That is the way it feels to me. Certainly deserving of it with how back and forth it has been, right? I genuinely do feel like we've not had a team get over 3 rounds in a row. There's always been an answer back on the way. Really cool to see. Nia Cash still available over on that T side though, thanks to continuous bomb plants. They will keep the pressure coming. They will look at finding a response of their own.
Config, big entry. Kiso down, Danger Man out. It's a nice way to start it. As OG is still in the midst of their default, they've lost their mid prong. You can see how this has forced the B players to fully turtle up, and they invested a lot of utility into pressuring B as well as that mid hit. Don't have a great deal left. One smoke on Fasher. And, why have I got the feeling the config's going to stick around and get aggressive? Just got that feeling.
It's a bit of a config move in it, to be fair. Usually the way that he likes to do things. I've been thinking about it. But for now, holding off ever so slightly. 45 seconds left on the clock, a really solid spot for NIP to be in then. I don't think that there is really a chance of coming back into this one. Unless OG can find a clean execute. Which is certainly easier said than done here. Brolan going to get another onto Fasher. 25 seconds remaining in this round. Not looking too good. Regali trying to be the danger man. He does find a frag, but he's then sort of Molotov'd off by his own teammates. It's getting a bit weird out here. Hampus, blinded, but it's perfect for him. Just Regali can't get it done. Lead swings back the way of NIP.
Ooh, a couple in a row now for them. OG's out of cash. No bomb plant. And they're just going to have to half buy. NIP just refuse to die. Amount of rounds where they just pull it out of thin air. Knife is well on to next. I don't want to see that too often. And have we got a fast B play? Here come the flashes. Yes, we do. Free in defense. And IP loading up the site. Head trick connects well. Hampus up next. And look at the spray down. It's just perfect. Lining up for Hampus. And maybe this nade will just finish the deal. Not quite. But Hampus has still certainly done enough.
held on. Goes away as you would expect, of course, but the fact that it goes away flawlessly is really big for NIP with how swinging this one has been. It's really good that they can bolster some of their economy. If they do lose a round, they will be able to buy back in quite comfortably. 13-11. It's a good scoreline for NIP. It looks like they are in prime position. One more rifle round, and I think the hard work will be done for them, right? I think they will be able to secure things if they find this round.
Looking that way. Looking that way. Smoke goes down. Are they going to go through this? No. Maybe there's a gap on the side. Piku's poking. Piku's through. Piku's through. Piku's in front of this Molotov and beats some bullets from Config. This is looking disjointed as can be from OG. Maybe they should just cancel. This is way too much to ask. There's 4 players here. They're never getting out of A main with numbers. And now, for the first time in this map, I think we can say a team is starting to string together rounds, and it is most certainly NIP.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, that really was not the move, was it? Quick burst out onto A. Feels sort of desperate in a way. Yeah, very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable indeed for the side of OG. It's starting to fall off. It's starting to go against them here. They're going to go bursting out through mid, but once again, NIP are ready. OG are angry. Frustration, the red that they see is blinding their judgment. Regali good for one on the USP, but on the... Oh, what am I saying? On the Deagle. But unfortunately, he is finished off. And a 15th round hit by NIP here.
It almost looked good for OG there. They got so many players out where the NIP guys were flashed up a little bit, still trying to get in position. But as has been the case in the latter stages here on Ancient, nothing going their way. Loser eliminated. Winner here still has a lot of games, a lot of series to win before they're in Sydney. So still be a long route. Clearly got to get through this one, and OG up against the wall now. Huge entry from Keto. Make it 2. Fasher chimes in. Where was this round? Where has this come from? Massive explosive play. And they're in a good position for the first time in a while.
Campus will manage to find all the entries. He's got so many more to get, though, and he was completely surrounded. I don't think he survives much longer in that situation. Headtrick, the only one left. He's on that AWP. We do have cash, but makes sense to save it, doesn't it, really? So I think he will be taking the AWP out with him into the next round. Nothing much coming for NIP. So OG indeed backs up against the wall. Final buy, final opportunity. And they manage to find themselves a nigh-on flawless round. A lot of low HP bars. But it doesn't matter if you're winning. It does not matter if you're winning. All the same, more work to be done. 3 more in a row here.
Time at him from NIP. I like this. I think they're starting to realize the gravity that if you muck about here and throw away these gun rounds, suddenly that chance at Sydney, which for this lineup would be huge, as would every team in this qualifier, love to pretend. Can't be throwing away these rounds. Got to make every gun round count. And that's what they're discussing at the moment. How do we open this? Who's got the nades? Where's Hedrick playing? How are we fighting mid? Are we loading up B early? A lot of small moves that combine together to make the fluidity machine that is Counter-Strike. Whereas on the flip side, the pressure on Nexa to make flawless calls from here on out is monumental. Here comes the next test.
Speed once again, at least in terms of the utility. They're only sending 1 player out. Ooh, could get a bit weird here. Config, good for 1. Is a trade there? No, it isn't. I think there might have been a missed shot out from Rez. I'm not entirely sure. He didn't commit to the trade opportunity, though. So kind of gets uncomfortable.
They might think nobody's crossed, you know. They might not be aware that Keto's through. I'm feeling quite confident in that,
possible.
given the B players. They are not even considering the back lane's flank.
He's low, though, isn't he? He's tentative. He's unsure himself.
Yeah.
How much he wants to push here.
He needs someone else to bring him into play. He needs some B pressure, a B fake, something, an entry on this side of the map, some impetus to pull attention. That molly force head trick in, and that's a massive headshot from Fiku. Big kill, and now Brolan surrounded. Keto activates. He can hear them in CT, and look at that perfection, working perfectly off the back of each other. And now Brolan has a mountain to ascend.
Well, we'll see. He's going to try and get aggressive. Fiku takes him out easily. Not a damn chance. Rez, again, holding from the backside. There will be very little opportunity to get back into this round. He looks for a save. Not necessarily needed again. They have the cash. But will be all she wrote for this one. So, OG... keeping things interesting, Alan. Really interesting.
Certainly is. There aren't saves. There might be only one gun round that stands between OG and getting this to overtime, which would be magnificent. Magnificent for their campaign. The buy will be okay here. Rez can drop to Hampus to it. Oh, sorry, Brolan. So he's ensure a good buy across the board. Maybe NIP should pause again, because you don't want to waste this opportunity either. Saw this buyout too. Really? They're going to half buy. They could have got it's ever so close to a full buy. I'm a bit stunned. But, yeah. They're really, really focusing on this last round. Maybe even a double AWP they want to bring out. Playing it safe.
Very much playing it safe.
I don't know why they've done that. The buy was literally one player had to not have full nades, basically.
Decent look as they move out quickly here on the OG side of things. Nexa will find himself in trouble that I think is exactly what the doctor ordered. That might just be all she wrote in this round. Still a couple of deagles in play can be frightening. Very scary indeed. Nexa, though, takes out Hampers. Pretty much confirms the fact. Just Brolin remaining. As it will end up being a difficult 1 versus 2 here. They've not got the bomb down as yet, which I think is certainly something that feels sort of dangerous. They know where Brolin's at, but where's he gone? He's going to take the peek. Fasher picks him off immediately. Oh, I did say it's got overtime written all over it, and we might just get that, Alan.
Absolutely. We did say it after Mirage. It'd be a real shame if this series didn't live up to the first map, and we are right back at it. Here we go then. NIP saved with the deliberate plan to have a full investment here. All the bells and whistles, all the options. And now they've got to make good of it. What's the call? What's the defense? How do they spread out, try and lock down this map? Double A starts for NIP as they ramp up the aggression in towards those A tunnels. Head tricks on location. But look at this. Regali's posted.
Keto, meanwhile, is going to go down towards middle. He's had an awful lot of those moments where he pushes in. Fiku pick up Rez. Regali goes down. Head trick is under pressure. Doesn't have the support from the side quite yet, but we'll see. Config has got himself into a dangerous spot to find two. All on Fasher. What can he do? Brings it down to a 1 versus 1. Brolin unsure how to play, how to move, where to go, where to look. Fasher's got the bomb, and he may well have made the right decision here. Calls off the A hit, looking for a different avenue of attack.
There's got to be a kid on the ground somewhere for Brolan, and he'll need that later on. Must be with their investment. There he is. He's got one. This is certainly the long game. Where does Fasher choose to go? If he mucks about too much, Brolan can get him behind. This is going to be so close if Brolan goes mid. Does he have the timing onto Red Room? Fasher's just down. Just down! And Brolan's got no idea. Ships in the night. Who's going to see each other first?
Guessed correctly, though, hasn't he? Guessed correctly on the A-bomb sites. That's the big deal. He may well be able to get the drop. 10 seconds left to get that plant. The gap going to close here. Fasher, however, went for the same plan. Not ready for the man from Cube. Down he goes. And NIP will send OG packing. What a couple of maps that was. Inferno to openers with the comeback from NIP. And then Ancient just able to get it over the line. Just able to be the stronger team. Absolutely brilliant.